Before empires rise, before stories echo through time, before legends are etched in blood and steel, there is one truth. Before you build worlds, you must first learn how to destroy them.
In every story, every war, every battlefield, someone commands, and someone obeys. Most people dream of victory, but here, Commander, we train to guarantee it. What is Warlord Strategist? This is no channel. This is a war council, a war room for the ruthless mind, tactical doctrine for killers of kings and creators of chaos. Deep battlecraft, lessons drawn from blood, real and imagined. Tools for fearcraft, morale breaking, siege breaking, soul breaking. Interactive command simulations. You lead or you die. War god dissection. Learn from legends, steal their secrets. This is not a channel. This is not a school. This is the Iron Chamber, where commanders are carved from bone and belief. We don't teach theory. We teach domination. Not for the weak, not for the safe. This is for those who build empires in ink and know how to burn them down in fire. Here, you don't watch battles, you cause them. So if you came looking for comfort, turn back. But if you came to become something terrifying, something unshakable, swear the pact, Commander, and prepare to think like a god of war.
After this course, you won't just write battle scenes, you'll design campaigns. You won't guess at tactics. You'll manipulate armies like gods pull strings. You'll learn to instill fear, not just in characters, but in the readers themselves, because you will understand war. In truth, we begin with the basics, the roots of all battle logic. No shortcuts, no mercy. Now, my commanders, my tacticians, my generals, my comrades, let me tell you what we're going to learn. In Phase 1, Tactical Foundations, this is where we begin to break you and rebuild you into a battlefield thinker. First, we'll carve the line between strategy and tactics, because most people confuse the two and get slaughtered for it. Strategy is the big picture, the war plan. Tactics? That's how you crush skulls in the moment. Then, we dive into the 5 battlefield elements: terrain, morale, time, force, command. Each one can win you a battle or bury you in one. Next up, classic formations. The phalanx, shield wall, wedge, skirmish line. These weren't just shapes, they were weapon systems. And finally, unit roles: infantry, cavalry, archers, siege, skirmishers. If you don't know what each piece does, you'll lose the whole board. This phase sharpens your instincts, with mental weapons forged in fire. All war is based on deception. Sun Tzu. If Phase 1 gave you the sword, this phase teaches you where to plunge it. Then, in Phase 2, advanced warfare concepts. You want to win battles before they start? Then learn to control the battlefield itself. We begin with terrain. Not just where you fight, but how you make it fight for you. Hills, forests, bridges, choke points. They're not obstacles, they're opportunities. Control terrain, and you don't just guide the enemy. You decide where they'll bleed. Next, we shatter the soft minds. Morale, command. You'll learn what keeps an army standing and what makes it crack. It's not just discipline, it's belief. And when belief breaks, flesh follows. You'll learn to recognize that break and cause it. Then we enter the shadow play, deception tactics. The feigned retreat, the false horn, the misplaced banner. Entire empires fell because one commander sent a false signal and the enemy believed it. We'll teach you to lie so well on the battlefield, your enemies won't know They've lost until the blood is in their boots. Now we flank, we envelop, we kill. No straight charges here. That's for fools. We teach you how to disappear from the front and reappear at the sides. Flanking is about illusion. Envelopment is about suffocation. And kill zones? That's where you herd the enemy and butcher them like cattle. And finally, you learn how to speak through chaos. Issuing orders in battle isn't calm. It's screaming over horns, smoke, fire, and dying men. You'll learn how to command in that hell. Not just what to say, but how to build your command chain so your orders echo like fate. This is where you stop reacting and start predicting, where you stop hoping and start controlling. Confuse them, distract them, then destroy them. Commander's Creed. A commander who reacts is already too late. The one who predicts never bleeds. In Phase 3, Tactical Thinking Systems. This is where you stop reacting and start predicting. Start controlling. Start winning. This phase isn't about formations or flanks. This is about the mind, the real battlefield, and how to think like a predator at war. We begin with the OODA loop. Observe, orient, decide, act. Every great commander, from dogfights to trench lines, used this mental weapon to outpace their enemy. You learn it, and you'll always be 2 steps ahead. Next, COA trees, courses of action. War isn't chess, it's chaos. But COA trees teach you how to branch decision paths like a strategist, not a gambler. You'll predict, prepare, and pressure. Then, we enter the fog of war. No map is ever complete. No commander ever has the full picture. You'll train to make decisions when you're blind, when hesitation means death. Order of battle planning. How many troops? What's their role? Who commands who? You don't just throw bodies forward, you structure your force like a system of death. And finally, simulations with live consequences. I'll throw scenarios at you. You'll issue orders, and when those orders fail, you'll learn why. Because real commanders aren't forged in theory. They're forged in the fire of failure and the steel of adaptation. Every hill soaked in blood holds a lesson. Every siege, a doctrine. In Phase 4, a real war experience. History isn't a classroom. It's a butcher's gallery. We don't study these battles to admire them. We study them to steal their secrets. You'll break open Agincourt, where mud and longbows humbled armored pride. Cannae, where Hannibal turned the Roman war machine into a massacre with pure tactical genius. Yarmouk, where strategy defied numbers and shattered empires. Hastings, Ain Jalut. Every clash, a different flavor of command, timing, terrain, and consequence. And we don't stop at reality. We dive into the fantasy legends. Helm's Deep, the Fortress of Will. The Battle of the Bastards, where chaos meets desperation. Sodden Hill, where magic and morale collide. But this isn't about trivia. It's about application. You'll dissect terrain usage, supply line collapse, morale shifts, fatal mistakes, and legendary triumphs. You'll follow battle blueprints, from setup to final blow, from the first war horn to the last dying scream. Because these aren't just chapters in dusty tomes. They're manuals of destruction. You won't just study battles. You'll rebuild them, redesign them, and rewrite them as if you were the one commanding from the hilltop. We don't read history, we re-art it. Great commanders are not born, they are dissected. Now we are going to see through great commanders. In Phase 5, Command Profiles. Now we carve into the minds of monsters. We don't kneel to these warlords, we dissect them. Their victories, their madness, their brilliance. Because to become a commander, you must first study those who reshaped the world with nothing but will and war. Let's meet the architects of collapse. Far on, distant land of North Africa from Carthage, Hannibal Barca, the master of encirclement. This man crossed the Alps with elephants, outthought Rome, and rewrote the rules of maneuver warfare. At Cannae, he didn't just defeat the Romans, he obliterated them in a trap from hell. The sword rise from Arabia, the khalidbinwaleed, the sword of psychological dominance. Born in the sands of Arabia, he crushed the Byzantines and Persians, defeating armies 10 times his size. He never lost a battle. His enemies called him the Sword of Allah, because when he struck, empires shattered. Emerge from Central Asia, the Mongol Empire, Subutai, the ghost of 1,000 fronts. Chief strategist of Genghis Khan, Subutai could coordinate multi-pronged invasions over vast distances. One day, you'd hear nothing. The next, your capital burned. In Eastern Roman Empire, from Byzantium Flavius Belisarius, the underdog genius, sent to reclaim the old Roman world with tiny forces, he outwitted barbarians, Persians, and even betrayal from his own emperor. Belisarius didn't command armies, he commanded fate. In Western Europe, France, Napoleon Bonaparte, the emperor of precision. He turned morale into a weapon, supply lines into blades, and timing into art. Every battlefield he entered became a classroom in domination. These were not just men. They were sculptors of history, war artists, who painted with blood and empire. And you, commander, you won't study them to admire them. You'll study them to replace them. You'll take their instincts, adapt their strategies, and sharpen your command presence until you strike like they did, without hesitation, without mercy. Because after this phase, you won't just remember their names. They'll start remembering yours. My friends, you came here for storytelling, for games, for fiction. But what you found is doctrine. This is strategic training for world builders, battle tacticians, generals, warriors, power designers, and campaign masters. War analysis that turns chaos into blueprints. The psychology of leadership, deception, and mass manipulation. Tactical simulations, where your thoughts are tested like weapons. Deep dissections of history's most terrifying war minds, sharpened into your own. Warlord Strategist isn't entertainment, it's war conditioning. This is where you learn to see the world as a battlefield. Every choice, a maneuver. Every word, a weapon. Every silence, a setup. If you've ever wanted to make your characters command with gravity, if you want your stories to crackle with tension, your strategies to feel terrifyingly real, then step into the war room. Because after this, you won't just write war. You'll think like those who've already won it, and you'll become one of the few who bend history to their will. Swear the pact. Subscribe, like, and enter the war room. If you're truly a commander, prove it. No cowards, no tourists, just war minds.